sold thousands of lots to people willing to exchange on the day and complete within 28 days. Property auctions made quick, easy and simple. Clive Emson Land and Property Auctioneers.
Hello everybody, yes, welcome back to another Feature Lot show, and as you can see I'm joined by another very special guest, Russell Hawks is with us. Russell, how are you? Are you well? It's good to see you.
Thank you, Ian. Yeah, good to see you as well. Before we start, must say I am an avid subscriber to Live Sport now. Very, very good channel. This format seems to be extremely popular because I'm always checking out the YouTube blogs and video bits on West Ham. So yeah, no, I'm not a motorsport fan, I've got to be honest, but I love the golf section. Very good.
Well, breaking news coming up in the golf. We've got Sunnydale Foursomes this year, the Trilby Tour. We've got Mizuno. Lots of golf for you to watch this year, Russell. I also know you're a big football fan as well, so keep tuned for a bit more of that. Of course, we were Essex bound a couple of months ago for the Women's FA Cup. Battles in Pitsea up Basildon.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
But on to this anyway. We could talk football all day. We could talk sport all day. But here we go. We are here to look at lot 14111 Lewes Road, Bromley. It's your lot. Is it? Just give us a bit of background information on it, Russell.
Well, first of all, I've got to say, straight off the bat, what a spot by the joint auctioneer that's acting with us there, Cody Phillips in Bromley. You know, it's a familiar story. Philip Cody called me and said, we've got a property which we think would be suitable for auction. And when he told me the history, within 2 minutes of that conversation, I said, absolutely 100%, that's an auction lot. So basically, as you can see from the screen there, without the red boundary that's on the photograph, most people would think that's a Victorian terraced period property with a garage.
Yeah,
but it's not. So those black gates lead underneath the property to the back of the building, where there's a mews type house at the back, which was built many years ago. So and it's not an unfamiliar story with properties like this in London. There's very similar types of properties, but the agent that brought this into the market in 2021, and there's an old lady that lives there. She lives abroad a lot now. It was a family home. Now it's too big for her because it's got 4 bedrooms upstairs, quite a nice sized accommodation downstairs. There's plans on the website, and it's been in the market since 2021, and the agent had been dealing with potential buyers to buy. They got right up to exchange of contracts with a particular buyer when it was sold for 475,000. Would you believe?
Wow. Okay.
They out right before contracts. So the joint agent had discussed with the seller about selling to cash buyers, because that section which goes over the garage is what's called a flying freehold. So as it's more than 20% of the floor area of the total building, it's causing some issues for lenders. They won't touch it. They won't go near it. So the client discussed with the joint auctioneer about selling to cash buyers, and the price was reduced slightly. And Philip had been spending many months, and to quote him, he said, you know, I'd spent a lot of time and effort dealing with individual cash buyers that just couldn't make a decision. Some said they would buy, some said they'd make an offer and they didn't, and some said, okay, I'll go through the motions, and it just never got together, and it went on for months and months and months and months. And you know, Philip rung me and said, look, I've had enough. If these guys want to buy it, then let's put them all in an auction room. And I said, yep, that's definitely the way forward. To give you an example, a similar property in Bromley that had a garage, because this hasn't, but it looks like it does. So, I mean, earlier when you were talking to Paul, it was, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. Well, if you looked at this, you'd think, oh, what a fantastic house. It isn't everything you think it is, but there's no garden there either. It's only a very small, very tiny little courtyard. So it's not essentially a family house. What it needs is someone to obtain planning consent. You know, as long as the consent's obtainable, they can get planning consent, split it up into flats, get some kind of planning permission to go into the loft, and then you'll have 3 potentially large units there that you could rent out. So it's an investment sale all day long. And the agent said that a similar property that did have a garage would probably be in the market for somewhere between 700 and 750,000. So that's
Wow.
that's the reason why he was getting all these phone calls, because people just couldn't believe it was being offered at the price it was at the time, 400, 400, 450, 475. So we said, we'll bring it to auction. We'll get enough people interested for it, which hopefully, should get it past the post, exchange of contracts immediately. So a guide price of 300,000, it's extremely attractive.
It's there to go, isn't it? It's there to go. I mean, it's obviously going to go for a fair chunk above that, but it's worth keeping an eye on this lot, I think, isn't it, Russell?
No, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the client would be extremely pleased if she sold the house after all the time it's taken to get to this stage. And Philip said, if we'd have sort of decided to go to auction straight away, I would have cut out all this time messing around with trying to put a deal together. So there's another joint agent. If any other joint agents watching this video, that is a classic example of the story of where a lot would be suitable for auction. It's not always the property so much, but it's the situation of the client, where they want to be, and even the agent. If the agent's just getting inundated with phone calls, put them all in the same basket and let them bid for it.
Well, I know Paul always says, he's a stickler for saying, anybody watching, do your research. The best place to do the research is to head over to cliveemson.co.uk. That's where you can download the legal pack. You get more information about the property. You don't even have to type the website out. There is a link in the body of this broadcast that takes you straight through to the Clive Emson website. You can see the full catalogue as well, all 142 lots. However, Russell, we've spoken about the property a lot. We do have a video, don't we? We want to have a bit of a closer look at it. Let's take a look at 11 Lewes Road in Bromley, shall we? Here we go. Yeah, Russell, it's one thing that strikes me there is that it looks quite spacious, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's size accommodation. And as you can see, when you get to the top of the stairs, you know, you think you've got this sort of standard Victorian house of two stories, and then all of a sudden you go across the landing and you've got another 2 big rooms. So it's got lots of potential.
Now, we've had a good look there, and if you do want to find out more about that property, cliveemson.co.uk is the place to do it. That's the website. Again, you don't even have to type it out. There is a link in the body of this broadcast. It will take you straight through. Give it a click as well. You can view the catalogue for all 142 lots. So Russell, you picked out an absolute corker there. That was lot 141. The details running across the bottom, as we can see as well. Let's find out a little bit about you, though, Russell. We asked Paul Bridgman this question in one of the other shows as well. How does one get involved in the auctioneer business? How did it start for you, Russell?
Well, oh dear. Well, Paul and I come from a very similar background. So I worked many years in state agency, and I getting a little bit disillusioned to the point where, you know, it was taking ages for me to earn money from particular sales, and I was thinking there must be a different way. I've done lettings, I've done property management, all sorts of stuff, and I thought, what else haven't I done? And there was a job displayed for an auction consultant, and I thought, I've sort of dabbled in auctions before. I've helped clients sell properties at auction by being a joint auctioneer, but I would never really understood it that much. So I just give him a call and I said, look, you know, how old was I then? I was in my 40s then. I said, look, I'm 40, you know, I've been in agency for ages. Would you take on somebody like me? Because it sounds to me if it's a job for a young person. And they said, no, come and see us. So I went down, sat.
That is young, Russell. That is young, by the way.
I just think I sat down, and what they told me, or what the guy told me about what auction was and how it went on and the process that followed. Within 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, I thought, I don't care what the package is. I've got to do this job. This sounds amazing. And then as soon as I got involved in it, like Paul, I mean, I am 110% passionate about selling property by auction. It's the way forward as far as I'm concerned. And now been in it for a while, so it's for me, it's the place I want to be in the property industry, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, I'm not experienced at all, but I have so much fun doing these, and everybody likes to look. Everybody likes to have a little nose and look and see what's out and about there in the market. And some of the lots we have at Clive Emson are just unbelievable, aren't they?
Oh, incredible! I mean, the diversity between lots, and that's one of the things I love about the job, is that you get to see properties like that. The property in Lewes Road in Bromley. We see land, we see development projects, lock-up garages, builders' yards, all sorts of stuff, and it's the variety is incredible. So you've got, any of my fellow colleagues across the company, you're dealing with a wide range of properties, so you've got to know your stuff. You've got to know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Absolutely. It does seem like almost a bit of a love affair in the auction game, which I really like to see. Russell, thanks so much. Before we let you go, though, we've got one final question to ask you. We're putting this to everybody, of course. It's a Sunday afternoon, but you're feeling a little bit peckish. You're going to go have a late lunch. What are you going for? You going for a roast dinner, or are you going to go for something else?
Without a shadow of a doubt, roast dinner.
Yeah,
there is no other thing to do on a Sunday other than find a nice pub with a log fire and then have a nice roast dinner. Absolutely, 100%.
Quick question for you then. Christmas Day, Yorkshire puddings, yes or no?
Yes.
100%. That is the right answer, by the way. Russell, thank you so much for joining us. Just a reminder, everybody, that bidding goes live on the 6th of February. It runs until Wednesday the 8th, so you can, obviously, there's still plenty of time to register your interest. www.cliveemson.co.uk is the place to do it. As we said before, just click the link in the body of this broadcast to take you straight there. You can see all 142 lots. I think there was a little bit more to that video as well, actually, wasn't there, Russell, that we had. So if you do want to see the back end of that video, do head over to the Clive Emson website or the YouTube channel as well. All the videos are at Clive Emson on YouTube too. Radio, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much, Russell, for joining us. Enjoy the auction, won't you? We'll be keeping a sharp eye on that lot because it does look an absolute cracker. Till next time.
Thanks, Ian. Good luck. Thank you.
Cheers, Russell. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
We've sold thousands of lots to people willing to exchange on the day and complete within 28 days. Property auctions made quick, easy and simple. Clive Emson Land and Property Auctioneers.